An investigation by the BBC has discovered an increase in reports of drinks being spiked over the past 5 years. Over that period, Police Scotland has dealt with close to 140 victims. Almost 82% were women, but it's believed the figures may underestimate the true scale of the problem.
Let's discuss this now with Colin and Mandy Mackey. They campaign on this issue after their son Greg died 2 years ago when he was 18, and what they believe was drink spiking. Colin and Mandy, thanks very much indeed for being with us this evening. I want to look at the issue and the figures and all that with you in a minute, but firstly, just tell us a bit more about Greg and what happened.
Well, Greg was a student. He'd finished, obviously, secondary school and gone on to Edinburgh College. Travelling from ourselves, from where we stayed to Edinburgh College, was a fair distance. At first he did drive it, but he decided, no, it'd be better off if it was in the campus. So he'd been in the campus for maybe 5-6 weeks, and then one night they were having a get-together, just as far as I know, just the roommates all having just a small party or whatever they were doing. And unfortunately, Greg was found dead later on that evening. 6:10 on a Sunday morning, we get the knock on the door from the police saying that Greg had died of a drugs overdose. We knew our son very well. He was never involved in drugs. He's sporty. He did speedway, boxing, rugby, cross country. He was really sporty, and he was anti-drugs. So we thought, no, this isn't right. This can't be right. So a couple of weeks down the line, after investigations, the toxicology report came back. And it turns out that Greg had no alcohol in his system, but the equivalent of 5 ecstasy tablets. That then made the police kind of change direction. Then they started, wait a minute, this isn't even someone who would experiment with a drug, because no one would take 5 ecstasy. So although they never ever convicted anybody for it, or charged anybody with it, we were convinced that that was the cause.
Yeah, and this is a massive problem. We saw the figures there. Now those figures, in and of themselves, don't seem massively high, but we do hear about this a lot. No convictions for this in the past 5 years, which spans the time that Greg so tragically died. Do you think this is underreported? Do you think there's more of this going on than we hear about?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. You only reported women. It's not. It's happening to a lot of men as well, but men just don't come forward. We've got our Spike Aware Facebook page. We speak to people, they message us and they say, this has happened to us, but we never reported it. So we know there's a lot more going on. And what we keep on saying to people is, please report it. Even if you're not sure, report it, because the more people that report it, the more we can do something about it.
When you're hearing from people that think it's happened to them, do you hear why they haven't reported it? Do they tell you that, or do you have any idea why people might be kind of holding back from doing that?
Because it's one of the hardest things to prove. That is the problem with it.
You would see that from the lack of convictions as well, no?
Yeah.
None. We was told that you needed two people come forward, 2 witnesses.
Right.
And it's hard to get one, let alone 2. But what you also find is that what happens is that you can get one witness and another one will come through. They're too scared. It's done. How would you put it? People don't think when they're doing it. They think it's just going to, they're going to be drunk, and that's the problem. All these people that do get spiked, 9 times out of 10, they're taken out of the pub and they're told to leave because they're drunk.
So tell us about your campaign. What are you doing? What do you want to see people do?
We need people to come forward. We need people to report what's happened. We need to see that it's on the rise, and it's not just happening to young people, it's happening to older people as well.
And what about the kind of the pubs and club side of things? I mean, is the onus just on you yourself to look after yourself, or do you think that they should take some responsibility too?
I think they should take some responsibility, but mainly the onus is on yourself.
Yeah.
You're out there, you're having a good time, you're having a drink, and what I would say to someone is, if you're having a drink, you go up to have a dance, you come back, you've got a drink there, ditch it. don't, you know, if none of your friends have been there that you trust, then ditch the drink. Or if you come back and you actually taste it, you think that tastes a bit funny. If there's no way of checking through the bar or any way whatsoever checking if it has been tampered with, ditch it. You know, for the price of a drink, it's better to be safe. Down south, they've been running a project down in Plymouth where bars have actually got, it's a spike kit, where you can actually have your drink tested. And what they do is they just put dip something into it, and then they swab it on this kit. It's from a company called Drug Lab, they do it. And it's only $2.99, but this kit will tell you if there's something in the drink. And the good thing is, they've trialled this in Plymouth, and they've actually now got someone going to court, because it did show that someone's drink had been tampered. The pub were immediately able to check the CCTV, and now someone's getting taken to court for drink spiking.
Just sadly, we live in a society where that kind of thing's necessary, isn't it?
And it's growing.
Yeah.
It's growing, and I think it's because drugs are now easily accessible, and they're a lot cheaper.
Sure. Well, listen,